I was talking to a friend the other day, let's call her Margaret. She's 72, full of life, but she told me something that really stuck with me. She said, I don't just want to live longer. I want to live better. And that got me thinking, how do we do that? How do we add more good years to our lives, not just more years? Well, luckily, we don't have to guess. There are places in the world called blue zones, where people regularly live to 100, stay sharp, stay active, and honestly, they seem happier than most of us. And here's the thing, it's not just about what they eat. Sure, diet matters, but the real secret? It's something deeper. Something we can all start doing today. So in this video, we're going to break down the #1 longevity secret from blue zones, and I'll give you 3 simple steps to bring it into your life. No fancy supplements, no extreme diets, just small, powerful shifts that can help you feel stronger, happier, and more energized for years to come. Now, the first step might surprise you. Because when researchers studied these blue zones, places like Okinawa, Japan, or Sardinia, Italy, they noticed one thing over and over: these people weren't living long lives alone. They were deeply connected. To family. To friends. To their community. Think about it. How many times have you had a rough day, and just one good conversation made everything feel lighter? That's not just a mood boost, it's a health boost. Studies show that strong social ties can lower stress, reduce the risk of dementia, even help your heart stay healthy. But here's the catch, it's not about having hundreds of friends. It's about having meaningful connections. So how do you do this? Simple. Start small. Maybe it's joining a weekly card game, calling a friend instead of texting, even volunteering, because giving back also keeps you connected. The key? Make it regular. Make it real. Because loneliness? It ages us faster than almost anything. But a strong community? That's like anti-aging cream for your soul. Now, the second step is just as powerful, but most of us overlook it. In blue zones, people don't retire the way we think of it. They keep purposefully active. Not running marathons, just moving naturally, every day. Gardening, walking, cooking, even into their 90s. Here's why that matters. Our bodies weren't made to sit all day. When we stop moving, things start rusting. But the good news? You don't need a gym. Just find ways to move with joy. Love flowers? Plant some. Miss strolling? Walk to the mailbox instead of driving. It's not about exercise, it's about living in a way that keeps you strong without feeling like work. And if you're thinking, but what if I'm not as mobile as I used to be? No problem. Even seated stretches or gentle chair yoga count. The goal? Keep the habit of movement alive. Because in blue zones, nobody says, I'm too old for this. They just do. And that mindset? It's everything. Now, before we move to the third step, which might be the most life-changing of all, I want you to think about this. Which of these 2 habits could you start today? Maybe it's calling an old friend, or taking a short walk after dinner. Small steps lead to big changes. And trust me, the last step? It's going to tie everything together in the most beautiful way. You know, there's a saying in Okinawa, one of those blue zones where people live the longest, healthiest lives. They call it harahachi biyu, which means eat until you're 80% full. But here's the thing, it's not just about how much they eat. It's about how they eat. Slowly. Mindfully. Enjoying every bite. And that brings us to the third secret, the one that ties everything together. In blue zones, life isn't rushed. Meals aren't scarfed down in front of the TV. Work isn't a frantic race. There's a rhythm, a slowness, that most of us have forgotten. But here's the amazing part, science shows that this pace of living might be just as important as what they eat or who they spend time with. Think about it, when was the last time you truly savored a cup of tea? Not while scrolling through your phone, not while worrying about tomorrow, just you, the warmth in your hands, the quiet moment. That's not just nice. It's medicine. Chronic stress? It shortens our cells. Hurry? It frays our nerves. But slowing down? It gives our bodies time to heal. So how do we bring this into our lives? It's simpler than you think. First, breathe. Not the shallow breaths we take when we're busy, but deep, full ones. Try this with me right now. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold, exhale for 6. Feels different, doesn't it? That's your body switching from panic mode to peace mode. And you can do this anytime, waiting in line, before a meal, even when grandkids are driving you up the wall. Second, do one thing at a time. I know, multitasking feels efficient. But in blue zones, people focus. If they're eating, they're eating. If they're talking, they're listening. No distractions. And that focus? It's like a superpower for your brain. Try it today. When you're with someone, really be with them. When you're eating, taste each bite. You'll be amazed how much richer life feels. And finally, leave space for nothing. Sounds strange, right? But in blue zones, people sit on porches. They watch the sunset. They waste time on purpose. Because that nothing time? That's when your mind unwinds. Your creativity stirs. Your soul catches up. So today, give yourself permission to pause. Even 5 minutes. No agenda. Just being. Now, let's tie this all together. Step 1, connect deeply. Step 2, move naturally. Step 3, slow down. Together, that's the blue zone recipe for a longer, fuller life. Not a single pill. Not a crazy diet. Just living the way humans were meant to. But here's my question for you. Which of these steps feels easiest to start with? Or maybe, which feels hardest? Let me know in the comments. And if this resonated with you, share it with someone who deserves a longer, happier life too. You know, when I first learned about blue zones, I'll admit, I thought, sure, but those people live in perfect little villages with perfect little lives. How does that help me? But then I met a woman named Helen. She's 82, lives in a small apartment in Chicago, and let me tell you, she's cracked the code. Helen doesn't have a secret mountain spring or magical herbs. What she has? A simple routine, one that mirrors exactly what we've been talking about. And the best part? You can start doing this tomorrow. No moving to Italy required. Let's break it down into what I call your daily blue zone rhythm. First, mornings. In Okinawa, they start their day by opening their windows, stretching toward the sun, and saying ikigai, their reason for getting up. You don't need Japanese phrases, but try this. Before you check your phone, before the news, take 1 minute to stand tall, breathe deep, and ask yourself, what's one small thing I'm looking forward to today? Could be coffee, a phone call, even just the way the light hits your favorite chair. That tiny pause? It sets your whole day on a different path. Next, meals. Remember Hara Hachibiyu? Here's how to make it real. Use smaller plates. Put your fork down between bites. And here's my favorite trick, eat with someone, even if it's just a phone call to a friend during lunch. Eating slowly and together? That's the double win. Now, movement. Helen told me her secret. I never sit for more than an hour. She sets a little timer. When it dings, she walks to her window, does 2 stretches, maybe waters her plants. That's it. No gym, no pain, just constant gentle motion, the way centenarians in Sardinia tend their sheep or Okinawans work in their gardens all their lives. And finally, those quiet moments. The blue zone power move? The sunset ritual. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, families gather every evening to share stories. You don't need a big family, just mark the transition from day to night. Light a candle. Sit with your thoughts. Write 1 sentence in a gratitude notebook. This isn't woo-woo, It's how humans are wired to process the day and let go of stress. Here's the truth, you won't do this perfectly. Some days you'll forget to breathe. Some meals you'll wolf down. That's okay. Blue zoners aren't perfect, they're consistent. Miss a day? Just start again. This isn't about adding chores to your life, it's about subtracting hurry from the life you already have. So tell me in the comments, which part of this rhythm will you try first? The morning minute? The sunset pause? Or maybe you've already found your own version. I'd love to hear it. And if this video helped you, pass it along. Because everyone deserves to know, getting older doesn't mean slowing down, it means savoring more.